Okay, so today we will going to see how to do the scanning of pages. So there are different ways. Okay, if we are not able to do it one of the ways, so we can opt for other way. Okay, so I'm quickly going to open my repository. And I'm going to scan my web page. So I will use vehicle insurance page as my sample page. So I'm going to share the drive with you. So just you have to download the Tosca on your machine and try to install it. And about the licensing part, I'm going to share the video with you. Okay.
Okay.
There will be a zip file. Just you have to download it and install on your system. And from the licensing part, I'm going to share the video. So just you have to go through the video and you can add the license to your Tosca application.
All right.
Okay, so we don't have to do anything over here. Just click on login and okay, so I'm going to take update all. I will go to home tab and pull all the updates. Okay, so this is my test section. I have to design my test cases. I have to automate this page. Okay, so for that, what I will do, I will going to create a sample folder. Let me create a file over here. Okay, so I'm going to check out this one. Maybe not this one. Okay, so I'm going to check out this one. This is my checkout, and now I have the access to do the modification in this folder. So what I will do, I will just do a right click and create one folder. So that will be a June batch. Okay, so I've created my folder. Now I have access to this one, this folder. Just I'm going to create a new test case over here. Okay, so this icon will help me to create a new test case. So I will going to write this like vehicle insurance. Okay. Now what I have to do, I have to launch my browser first. Okay, I want this URL to be open. So what I will do, I'm already having a standard module which is provided by a Tosca. So I will go to modules. There is a standard modules. I will expand this one and I will go to HTML and there you can find open URL. Okay, you just have to drag and drop it over here. Okay, now I'm going to enter my URL over here and I'm going to close this browser. And I'm going to execute this module. If I execute this module, automatically it will going to launch my default browser. So my default browser is a Firefox. Okay, so it will going to launch in Firefox browser. Now the execution has started. Now application has been started on a default browser. As you can see, it's in a Firefox. Okay, so the client requirement is like, okay, you have to run in a specific browser. Okay, so you can't do that. So what you can do, just add a configuration parameter. Click on your test cases. Okay, so as I can expand, this is a scratch book. It will going to show me, okay, your execution has been done. And this step is getting passed. And again, I will go back to my test case and add a configuration parameter. So if I click on this one, you will get an option of test this configuration parameter to be added. So if I click on this one, do a right click, and this icon will going to add in the configuration parameter. Instead of creating a parameter in one of the test cases, I can create the parameter in a folder so that whatever test cases you will be going to add under this folder, it will going to have the same configuration parameter. So what I will do, I will going to add under this folder only, so that in future, if I add any test cases, the same configuration should be maintained. Okay, so I will going to add it under my folder. So I will going to click on this one, this three icon, and click on the configuration parameter. And now I will going to write a browser over here, and I'm going to select the value from here. So these are the browsers which are compatible with Tosca. So I'm going to select Edge. Okay. And if I click on this test case, automatically that configuration will be added. Okay, as you can see. Now, if I do a right click and execute my test cases, it will going to launch in my Edge browser. Okay, my test is passed. It will going to process the result, and it will going to display. As you can see, now I have added a standard modules over here to launch the browser, but I don't have modules to add this value in the page. Okay, so now we have to create a module for this one so that I can add the value or select the value for this page. So for that, what I will do, I will go to my Tosca, and under module section, these are the standard modules. I will not do any changes in the standard modules. Okay, so I will just create a new folder. I will do a right click, I will do a checkout, and the already June batch is there. Okay, I will do a right click and click on folder, and I will create a new folder. I will add a June batch over here, and I will do a right click, and there is an option of scan. Okay, I will click on this one and I will select the application. Okay, so before opening this scanner, your application should be open. So I have already opened in my Edge browser. My application is already open so that it is going to identify your application. So I will going to click on the application, and Tosca will going to scan all the modules whichever you have opened. It is going to scan and show it to you. Okay, so this is my application. I'm going to double click on this one. So by default, what Tosca will do, it will going to scan whatever component you have on that page. It will going to scan and show it to you. As you can see, so all the links, drop down, text box, all the values you can get over. Okay, but I don't need all these components. So whatever I need, I will going to add it over here. Okay, let me refresh this one. So I'm going to right click again and click on application. So what I have to do, I have to do the automation for this motorcycle. Okay. Okay, so it will going to scan all the component. Now what I want a specific component to be added in my modules. So what I will do, I will click on this select on screen. As you can see, I will going to click on this select on screen and add the attributes. So I'm going to click on the automobile, then truck, then motorcycle, then camper, and then I will going to add this motor insurance one as well. And I will going to select the drop down, make model this 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 text box, this drop down, this one, and my next button. Okay, once you select all the component, now you have to take care that your whatever component you have selected, it should be uniquely identified, or else it won't be able to enter the value or able to detect your component. So by default, automatically the Tosca will add it using a property. Okay, so I will again go to click on this select on screen and get out of it. Now I have to make sure that component whatever we have selected, I will go to the properties. These are the technical properties. So these are selected by default using ID, as you can see. So this ID is making this element uniquely identified. Okay, if I go to the truck, so this is also having an ID. Then we have a motorcycle, then camper. Okay, then we have a motor insurance. Okay, what if you don't have a unique ID? Okay, if I click on this make and I don't have the unique identity to identify my element. As you can see, if I unselect this ID, automatically this is appearing in an amber color. And as you can see, the selected item is not unique, as you can see over here. So now you have to make this unique. So for that, what you can do, you can select any of the element over here, properties to make this unique. Okay, so that is called as a identify by property. Okay, this is one of the way to identify the element. What if you don't have any ID or any values which it will going to make it unique? So in that case, you have to go with the other option that is called as a anchor. Okay, so in that case, what I will do, I'm going to click on this identify by and select this anchor. So what anchor will do, it will going to make your element unique. Okay, I'm going to remove all this. Okay, so by default, it is taking some value. I'm going to remove it. Now, the precondition is of using an anchor. What you have to do, your element which you are creating a reference, it should be uniquely identified. Like if I will going to give the reference of automobile, okay. So this element should be uniquely identified. Then only it will going to identify your element. Okay, like just for an example, person A and person B is there. Okay, so person B want to identify person A where he or she is sitting. So I can give the reference of that. Okay, person A is sitting just behind the person C, and he knows the person C, so he will directly go to that person C and okay. So he is sitting just behind that, so he will going to identify that. The same way, this element is not uniquely identified. So what I will do, I will create a reference for that. So I'm going to click on this one, anchor, and I'm going to know this one. Okay, and this element is uniquely identified. So what I will do, I will just go and drag and drop it over here, so that with the reference of that element, it will going to identify my element. Okay, now as you can see, this element is uniquely identified now. It is not appearing in an amber color. So with the reference of automobile, it is going to identify this, and this element is unique now. Okay, any questions up till now? About the properties, identify by property or identify by anchor? Any questions? Okay, so I will take it as a no. Okay, so I'm done with the two properties. And the third option is still you don't have any unique element over here in your object and you won't be able to identify. Okay, if you are scanning by anchor, so it will going to create this icon over here. Okay, this is an anchor icon. So this element, this implies that okay, this element is uniquely identified using this anchor one. Okay. Okay, so still you don't, still you won't be able to scan it using anchor. You don't have any unique element in your page, or you are still having some issues. So you are not able to identify using ID and anchor. Then we will go with the third option. That is called as a identify by image. Okay. So if I click on the image, so it will going to redirect me to image. So if I select any value, so with the reference of this image, it will going to identify my element. Okay, so this option is identify using an image. As you can see, okay, let me remove this one. First, I'm going to identify. So you don't know which element it's going to identify. So you just have to click on highlight selection. Okay, this is the model. So if I click on highlight, it will going to highlight the element, make model. Okay, this is the model. So we have to identify. So I will go with image, and I'm going to select any value. Okay, so I'm going to add any value over here in the image to identify the element. You can take this one. So with the reference of that, it will going to identify your element. It will take some time to do the scanning, as you can see. But Tosca won't recommend this practice to be added, because if your resolution gets changed as you are executing on a multiple machine, so if your element is not uniquely identified, okay, so if you're using an image concept, so it will going to hamper your execution. That will be depend on your screen resolution size, as you can see, your screen resolution is added over here. So if you're at the time of execution, if your execution resolution gets changed, so it will going to hamper your execution. It won't be able to identify your element. Okay, or your browser is getting zoomed in or zoomed out, so it will not able to identify your element. So for the best practice, Tosca would recommend you to use the image. So if you don't have any option, then you can go with the image, scan by image. Okay. Now the third option will be scan by index. So if you click on index, automatically it will going to identify your element using an index. Okay. So now as you can see the hash over here, so it will going to identify your element using a index. Okay. Okay, then the third option, the fifth option will be scan by parentheses. Okay, if your child element is not uniquely identified, you can use a parenthesis. So you just have to extend this slider over here. Okay. Okay, so this is male and female. This element, your male element, is not uniquely identified. Okay, so if I unselect this ID and you are not able to identify your element, so it will going to appear in an amber color, as you can see. So what I will do, I will select the parent element and see that its parent element should be uniquely identified. Okay, then only I can use this radio button, the class name. Okay, if you uniquely identify this element, so it will going to appear. Okay, so it is not able to. I will add the inner text. So, okay, it's having an inner text as a main, so I can select this one. Okay, now my element is uniquely identified, as you can see. So if you don't, if your child element is not uniquely identified, you can select the parent element and it will going to identify your element over here. Okay, any questions up till now for scanning? So we have seen the first one will be the identify by properties. So these are the properties. So you can select any of the properties which make your element unique. The second will be anchor. So in anchor, the precondition will be you have to make sure that one of the elements should be uniquely identified on your page, and with the reference of that element, you can create it. Okay. The third one will be identify by image. So you can select the image and then give the reference. The fourth one will be identify by index. So in index, you just have to click on that one and select the index. Automatically, Tosca will going to identify the index for you. Okay. And the last one will be the parenthesis. The parenthesis is not over here. So it just you have what you have to do, you have to select the parent element and your parent element should be uniquely identified so that with the reference of the parent element, your child element should be identified. Okay. For that, you have to use this slider and it will going to expand whatever child element and parent element you have over here. Okay. So now I will go to click on save button and let's see if we are able to use that module or not. Okay, this module is created for me. So what I will do, I will go to just drag and drop it over here. Okay. Now I will going to click on the motorcycle first. So for clicking on motorcycle, I will going to type click. Okay. And once it is clicked, I'm going to select the values. So from the drop down, I'm going to select value like BMW, and second value will be scooter, and I will make a capacity as 1000. Engine capacity will be 1200. Okay, I will going to mention the date. So it will be 06 slash 2023, and number of seats. So as you can see, there this is the drop down option. So you have to select the value from the drop down only. This is the text box icon, so you have to enter the text. So I will mention it as a this one. So you can put some random value. Okay, and I will click on this next button. So my page is already opened over here. So I will going to just execute this one, and let's see if I'm able to enter the value or not. Okay, it is able to click on that motorcycle. Now it will going to enter the value and click on next. Okay, so my module is working perfectly fine with all the attributes. Okay, whatever attributes we have created. So it's working fine. Now my execution has been done successfully. So if I go to my Scratchbook and expand all these method flow, as you can see, all these steps are getting executed successfully. Okay. Any questions up till now? Anything? Okay, so I will take it as a no. Okay, so the today's session will be uploaded and you can go through it. And if you feel like, okay, you are not getting anything, so we can go with your doubt after the session. Okay, so do you have any doubt in this one of scanning part? Because I'm going to give the assignment on this one and you have to finish that assignment so that you can have a hands-on experience on all these topics. Sangeeta, do you have any question?
No, maybe once I'll try. So
Okay, please
that time
try to
maybe
do
I'll
the
take.
try to do the scanning part, and once you are doing able to do it, please try to do with other application as well. Okay, so you will get more clarity.
Okay, okay, I'll try.
Okay,
Okay,
okay then. I'm going to share the recordings with you, and you can go through that. Okay, okay then. Adi,
okay.
do you have anything for me? So are you able to understand?
Yes, I don't have any question at the moment. I'm still going to go through the video anyway, so and then install the application and then go through this demo again.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, we don't have any questions, so we are good to close this call. So we will connect tomorrow at the same time. Okay. Okay, then have a good day.